My name's Jake. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a senior consultant in the data systems team. Yeah, challenge accepted. So I have been at the Catapult for those of you that don't know me, I've been at the Catapult for nearly 2 years now, working on a variety of different projects, but mainly pushing open energy data within the energy sector, so that we can incentivize innovation and support organizations with low carbon transition energy projects and smart local energy systems, all of that sort of thing. I'm going to talk to you today about a tool that we've been running for the last few years, for about 18 months now, actually, which is our Esc Data Platform. So, as I said, we've been pushing the open data initiative within the sector for a while, but we're also trying to live our values in terms of publishing some of the information that we have and sharing it with our partners and with innovators so that they can use it for innovation projects. So today I'm going to walk you through and do a little demonstration of our data platform, what's on there, and then I'm going to talk you through how you can get involved with assessing or publishing some of your data that you have within your teams to help innovators and get us close to net zero. So I'm going to share my screen. This is a live demo, so Paul may get the chance to heckle anyway if it does go wrong. Okay, Gail, could you just tell me if you can see that?
Yep, I can see it.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to go on the basis that everyone can see what Gail can see. So this is the landing page. This is our Esc Data Platform landing page. It's hosted on a platform called USmart, which is run by a company called Urbantide, who we've been working with for a little while, who specialise in open data. So when you hit the platform, this is what you'll see. You'll get a short introduction to Esc, and what you really want to do is click on this View All 61 Datasets button that we've got here. So if I move on to here, we've got 61 different datasets at the moment, which are hosted on the platform. So you can see there's a search function. You can filter it by the types of tags that are on there. And these are all data sets that we've published from different departments. So this is a consumer vehicle and energy integration project. And we've recently put up some ESME scenarios for net zero. And predominantly most of the stuff is around our living lab data, which has been published for the years 18, 19 and 1920. So if you click on one of these data sets, it opens up this page. So you can see we've got some information like the title, the description, the themes, the point of contact. So as an innovator, you would come here to sort of read a little bit about what is in the data set before you download it. You can see there's a preview here, so you can get a look at what data is in there. So you can sort of play around with it. You can filter it. You can download sort of subsets of it before you actually download it for your own personal use. And then below here, we've got some documentation and an FAQ document, which will also help innovators to understand what they can do with it and what the characteristics are. Further up, we've got different ways of downloading the data. So you can see this one is 5 different CSV files. You can download them all together, or you can download them separately. And also, if you are a developer or you have an application, then there's API connectivity available publicly. So if you click this, you can see that it will give you a set of code samples for you to pull it from JavaScript, from Python, or from Linux, for example. And there's a code base for you to do your own custom queries and download custom filtered data and that sort of thing. So you can download it in CSV, you can download it in JSON or XML files, whatever is suitable for your project. But there's a bit of a hard limit on the amount of data that you can download as CSV. So we also have larger, what we call dynamic data sets. I don't know if you just heard that. That was my doorbell. So this one is the Eden-4 sensor data from the Living Lab for 1920. So this is only available via API. And that's because downloading a data set of this size is gigantic and takes ages. And we are presuming from our user research that the people who will be wanting to access this data will be sort of data scientists or data analysts that will be familiar with API connectivity. So you can see in here there is 77 million rows of data, so it's a bit big to be downloading as a CSV. So you will do it via API using the code samples that I just showed you. This is for open data, but we also have the ability to have private data as well. So you can see here, this is 1819 sensor data. It's labeled as open here. But if I go to a different data set, this is data that we've been collecting for the electrification of heat project. You can see I've designated this as private. So only people within ESC and these shared with people are able to access this data set. So we can do that if there's things like commercially sensitive information in there or information that's specific to a specific organization. The last thing I want to talk about is there are multiple mechanisms of getting data into this platform. So you can upload them via CSV, but you can also push using an FTP system, or you can send it via, you can set up your own API, which is what we've got with some of the partners that we're working with. And you can also, for security, you can specify who can actually upload data in a very granular way using their login information on the platform. So you can see here there's some records associated with electrification of heat, and then finally it has some basic visualization capability. So this one is one that's been developed by John Williams. So thank you, John, for this query. So you can see here this is the performance of a heat pump over time that's been installed by OVO. So you can see you can plot and see the performance of the heat pump over time. So you can sort of quickly do these sort of quite simple visualizations. And we're working on some upgrades for this as well, so that we can do some slightly more complex visualizations. So what we're asking at the moment is that if we've been around and spoken to some of the practice managers and a couple of people across the organization. We're running an initiative called Enabling Conditions Technology Repository. What we're asking at the moment is if people can use the knowledge management system that Andrew Pease has been pushing to document some of the data sets that you've got. We are trying to see how many of these are useful for net zero and for technology cost and performance. So if you have anything that you think might be interesting or that innovators might be interested in accessing, or even organizations like other catapults or electricity or gas networks might be interested in using for innovation purposes, then please get it up on the KMS. Maybe if Andrew Pease is here, you can put the link in the chat. And what we'll do is we'll go through a process where we'll run what we call an open data triage. So we'll decide on whether this will be public or whether it'll be private. And then we can run you through things like licensing agreements and release mechanism and who you can share it with. We're always looking for new data sets to get on here to share with our innovation partners. So if you think that you have something within your team that would be interesting to put on here, then please reach out to me and I'll put my email address in the chat box as well. And I think that's all I wanted to say for today.